all may be seated. As you can see, I'm here to do a fireside chat, and I have titled this fireside chat, Come Closer. Now, the title has come from a song I wrote, actually. That's where it stemmed from. The lyrics are in the note card that you got from the pulpit that also had the song lyrics for the worship, and also has a few scriptures that I have also put in the fireside chat. As I wrote the lyrics, I cried. What actually happened, I'll tell you the little story, that I was getting myself ready for work, and I just started to sing part of I guess it was probably what you would call the chorus, I guess, and just sing it over and over, and then I started singing part of the rest of it. And as I was singing it, I realized I should probably be writing down these words, so I wrote them down. And I was like, I'm not sure how this is going to go. And then I gave Ben the words, and he wrote the music. So it was kind of an interesting collaborative project. So, we are going to listen to the song in the altar call, but when we do that, I want you to know that these words are very profound to me. They have profound meaning, and I hope that they have some meaning for you as well. So look forward to that. Also, most of these lyrics are written from the point of God, or at least the one, well, you'll figure it out, hopefully. Most of, I guess you'd call the chorus and the bridge and things like that were written from his point of view. And I'm not saying that I know the mind of God or anything like that. He's still very much of a mystery to me, and I'm sure he is to you too. We know bits from reading his word, but there is so much more that I believe is part of who he is that isn't written, that we have to experience for ourselves. But what I'm saying about this is that I understand him a bit, and so I wrote this song from that knowledge that I have, and the knowledge that I have from the Bible, because there are people in the Bible who had encounters with God. You know, there's the main characters, so to speak, of the Bible. For example, David. He was a shepherd at the beginning, but he ended up being King David. And David was called a man after God's own heart, even though he sinned. He was, after all, human, so there were mistakes that he made. There were big ones that he made. But God still called him a man after his own heart, which for some people, that's amazing. I'm taking a break. Need some water. Okay. Now, how about Moses? We all know the story of Moses, right? He was a Hebrew slave, and since the Hebrews were being killed, their sons, by Pharaoh, he wanted them killed. He was put into the Nile River. I believe it was the Nile River. And the Egyptian princess finds him. He then grew up as an Egyptian. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So he grew up as an Egyptian, and then he finds out who he really was. And so then he went to be with his people, and then, well, you can read the story. I believe most of it's in Exodus for your when you have the time. But we're going to read a little bit about Moses in Exodus for our purpose here. There is a part in Exodus in chapter 19. God calls Moses to the top of the mountain, Mount Sinai. But people were to go up there as well, but they didn't. Or they couldn't. It all depends on how you interpret. To me, I think they were afraid. And then, of course they were. I mean, this is God. They had, at this point, I think they had seen some of what was going on. What God could do, because he sent them out of Egypt. They realized he was doing those plagues. They saw his power. And so what we're going to do is we're going to read a little bit of Exodus 19, verses 20 to 25, just so you to get in a little bit of an idea of what was going on at that time and why they were a little bit afraid, and the fact that Moses and Aaron were the only two that ended up going up the mountain. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so verse 20. Then the Lord came down upon Mount Sinai on the top of the mountain. Now that's just amazing in itself, that the Lord came down on top of the mountain. That might have freaked anybody out. And the Lord called Moses, the Lord called Moses up to the top of the mountain. Moses went up. So Moses obeyed. He's like, Lord God called me up here, I'm going to go up there. So he went up there. And the Lord said to Moses, go down and warn the people, lest they break through to gaze at the Lord and many of them perish. Also, let the priests who come near the Lord consecrate themselves, lest the Lord break out against them. But Moses said to the Lord, the people cannot come up to Mount Sinai, for you warned us, saying, set bounds around the mountain and consecrate it. Then the Lord said to him, away! Get down and then come up, you and Aaron with you. But do not let the priests and the people break through to come up to the Lord, lest he break out against them. So Moses went down to the people and spoke to them. And that's the end of the chapter. Now, this might just be me talking because, I'm the one speaking right now. But in a way, it seems like God was angry because the people didn't want to come up the mountain. Because they're all saying things like, Moses, you go up there and talk to God. He's so powerful and we are so afraid. Yeah, they were pretty much whining. And I think God was saying in his own way, won't you come a little bit closer? But the people didn't want to come closer. It's sad to think that there are those who would rather stay where they are instead of getting closer to God, because of what that might mean and what they might have to do in order to get closer to him. They'll have to sacrifice something. Time doing whatever it is that they think is so much more important. Now, I'm not saying that you spending time with your family and not with God is like horrible or something. No, I'm saying more like watching TV, things that aren't with family or with friends, or things that you could chop the time watching TV, cut it in half and spend that other time with God. Now, I'm not just talking to you. I'm talking to me too. I know I need to spend more time with him. I know I need to not always be doing what I'm normally doing, mostly on my computer, but to spend time with him. And this song you will hear soon is really what I think God is saying to us. He wants us to be closer to him. He wants us not to be afraid. He wants us to understand him in these ways and in so many other ways. He wants us to have that intimate connection with him. If we would open up to him, we could see so much more of his love and care for us. We would not be so sad or depressed. We could see him for who he really is. What I would like all of us to do right now is to find a spot where we can get close to God. It doesn't really matter where. In Second Life, real life, or maybe it's just where you are right now. That's fine. Just get to that spot. He's calling us closer, and I don't want us to be like the Israelites of Exodus 19, where they did not draw close to him. I want us to draw close to him and to be with him. So get to that spot. We are going to listen to that song. It's going to be the first song we're going to listen to at the altar, with the altar call. Let the words wash over you. Allow God to minister to you. So like I said, yes, this is the altar call. And yes, if you have a need, you need prayer or ministry or just somebody to talk to, please instant message one of the ministry team members on the staff, and we'll be glad to help you. If you would like to contact the pastors, point in your browser to almcyberchurch.org and click on the pastor's offices there. Leave us a message, and we will reply as soon as we can. Okay? Whenever you need to do so, you are free to leave. After this time in his presence, we will meet in the room up the stairs to your left for a time of fellowship. All are welcome to attend. May God bless you this week. May he who speaks in a still small voice call you to come a little bit closer to him. Go in his peace, my friends. Go in his peace.
You walked this earth, you felt my shame. You bore such pain as you hung there, so we could be together for all eternity. I feel so far away, I feel so unworthy to even touch your hem. I feel so unworthy to even say your name, but then you say to me, won't you come a little bit closer? Won't Won't you come just a little bit closer? Won't you come a little bit closer to me? You walked this earth, you felt my shame. You bore such pain as you hung there, so we could be together for all eternity. I feel so far away, I feel so unworthy to even touch your hem. I feel so unworthy to even say your name, but then you say to me, won't you come a little bit closer? Won't you come a little bit closer? Oh, won't you come just a little bit closer? Won't you come a little bit closer to me? I am here, there is nothing to fear. I am here calling you